we go again.
As Kennedy, my brother from another mother.
What's good, bro?
What up, though?
What's up with you?
Listen, did I tell you Texas Toast is officially live on all platforms. Anywhere you stream music, you can check it for on out though, man. So I'm acting
Man.
real different today. Got it set up different today just because I'm coming out of Yeah. Great feedback so far though, man.
That's what's up. So where does this one rank for you?
Like so. This is that's an interesting question because like all of them, all of our, I think that all of our songs are very personal, right? And especially songs that are released as singles. So I think that this one, it's right. It's probably like right below, Serious.
Yeah.
Right? And the reason why it's right below Serious. Both of these are songs where I was experimenting a little bit more, doing something that's outside of what I typically would do. So on Texas Toast, my flow is a lot different this time around. It's pretty cool though, man. I was let's get into it though, man. Let's get the music going. We can talk all about it. But it's it's up there though, man. But the feedback has been some of the best feedback that I've gotten anyway.
That's what's up. All right, well, let's get to it.
Let's do it.
It doesn't matter what your name is.
Brotherz podcast, the greatest podcast of all time. The Brotherz podcast, the greatest podcast.
If you smell what the rock. It doesn't matter what your name is.
Hey, listen, if you haven't already, be sure to like and subscribe to the Brotherz YouTube and Facebook pages. We are live on both platforms at the same time. You click on the notification, you click on the bell, you get the heads up whenever your boys are doing their thing. Ace Kennedy. Yeah, so I think that one of the things that was that's interesting about Texas Toast, we were talking about it before we cranked up the music. I think one of the things that I'm looking to do is that this particular one is this project that it's a part of is a lot different from everything else I think I've done. So usually I think that my projects in general have always been full length projects, right? This particular song is from a series of songs that are part of an EP. A lot different from what we've done in the past, but this particular theme though, right? Of this project is based off of an idea that I kind of got. I was looking at an interview from Jermaine Dupri, and I don't know if we talked about this offline, but I don't know if we talked about this on the pod. But I think that Jermaine Dupri was kind of talking about um, one of the things that's different these days is that only females make club records. Like, and I thought that was one of the things that I've always thought that when I put together my albums that I was mindful of, right? I'm still old school enough to know that you put out songs that are intended for clubs. And so I was like, oh, you know what? Well, you know what? As an EP, because of that, I want to do a song that's nothing but club records, nothing but anthems. So it's all songs that I think would be songs that if we were actually going out to dance, right, at a club, these are records that these are records that I think could be slid in on there, and it could be anthems, club records, all mainly female friendly songs though, bro. In lieu of him saying only females make Club Records. By the way, bro, how the hell do we know that we were gonna be wearing about the same colors though, bro, today?
Bro, it's always just by chance, man. It just happens like that.
Yeah,
We'll
yeah,
be
yeah.
playing it.
But I'm excited. Listen, I'm very excited about this song, but also about this particular EP though, bro. So it's gonna be pretty dope. And shout out to the boy Cinematic because I'm linking up with him real soon to shoot a visual from this particular project. So lots
That's
of
what's
things
up,
going
man.
on, bro.
Let me ask you this, Bill. Let me ask you this. You may not want to tell people, but I'm just asking. Do you have a date for the actual drop of your uh of the EP?
You know what though, man? I think that ideally I would want to drop this particular EP in October. And the only reason why I'm thinking about dropping it in October is that I think that I'm approaching this particular overall project differently. Now I don't want to say for sure it's going to be
Yeah, yeah,
October,
yeah.
but
No,
I
no,
think that
just it's just
I
your
would
idea.
ideally I'm targeting October, and I think that the biggest reason why I want to do it differently is because it's interesting because it's an EP, so it's a shorter project, and I just want to make sure that all of these particular songs, because it's only going to be six, maybe seven songs, that all of them do exactly what I was intended for them to do. So yeah, 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 and it's I think one of the things that also is interesting is making a for a guy making music or making a project where the music is specifically for clubs, and you typically only hear like the Megans, the Glorillaz, the Sexy Reds, females who do these kind of records. I think there are a few guys who do, but to have the whole entire project dedicated to that, I'm also just trying to make sure that it fit that vibe. Yeah,
Yeah, that makes sense. Um,
October is when I'm targeting.
so obviously we got a bunch of big news to get to. I think, we have been gone. We weren't here last week, so we didn't get a chance to talk about some of the things that kind of happened worldly. But before we jump right into that, just kind of wanted to tell you about the show we had with Chris, the Cockarue show.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
you know what I'm saying? It was alive, man. It was a nice turnout. uh Oklahoma really showed up, especially with the space that we had. It wasn't a necessarily a big venue, but the way it was constructed and the way the people that were there was a lot of people. And if it was a different type of crowd for me, as far as singing in front of, it's one of those things, like when you do something different, it is a little bit difficult, meaning that in Oklahoma City, they don't really do like R&B meshed shows with comedy, right? It's either, hey, I'm going to a comedy show or I'm going out to hear some live music. So it was interesting to see the response to the crowd or whatever like that, and people that was actually listening and stuff like that. That was cool, and the feedback that I got was real cool. So overall, it was a good show. Like I said, nice
Well,
turnout. I'm sure Chris.
let me ask you this. So you said that in Oklahoma, so in out here, like I think that they do that fairly often, where they'll have R&B. Like I went to a concert where it was Monica, August Alsina, Mario, Tamar Braxton, and in between the R&B sets, they would have comedy. So it was like most of the Wild and Out cast and everything like that. They would come in, do their little piece. B. Simone did some, a couple other people do theirs, and it would be a split. But you kind of knew, like even based off of just previous similar shows, that that's what you were getting though. So here is a common thing. It's different here in that that's not something that's a regular out there.
Well, the other thing too, I think of how we had the show constructed, because you had the R&B piece that was supposed to be the after party of the show. You know what I'm saying? So the thing is after you have set through 2 to 2.5 hours worth of comedy, you know, then it's like, okay, so now I'm gonna sit and listen to some R&B, or now I want to go get a drink, and that, people were moving around, so it was almost like I became the soundtrack to the start of for the DJing and stuff like that. So I mean,
Yeah,
people
yeah,
was
yeah.
moving around, and I seen people go and grab drinks because the bar was actually in a different room. So I seen people go grab drinks, stuff like that. There was a couple people that kind of sat in the front row. So I had an audience to sing to. And there was people that was here for me that was kind of in the back. So it was, like I said, it was dope. It was cool to see some old people that I, knew from the military pop out, because of course Chris is back in town, you know what I'm saying? And the people came out. No, it was good time. And like I said, we did our lessons learned, and picked up some things that we can do for the next one, because we're planning to go to Nashville next, and then just continue to see where we can go to get this type of thing more of a regular thing, so that people kind of know what they're coming to, and know what to expect, and maybe change up the order of stuff or whatever like that. Maybe it's the R&B piece first, and then we go into the comedy, like all of that different type of stuff. So like I said,
What is the Nashville? What's the idea for Nashville?
kind of the same show. Don't know, like I said, we don't know if the format's going to be the same, but
How
like
far out? How far out? When you guys
February.
okay.
Yeah, yeah. So, but no, the national news. So, like I said, again, we haven't spoke since. Well, obviously we have spoke, but we ain't spoke to the people for a while. And so, in between that time, there was an assassination attempt on Donald Trump. And there's obviously been several different stories and different narratives and different thought processes behind said attempt. We do know that two people were confirmed to have lost their life: a fireman who was protecting his family, and then, of course, the shooter themselves. And the repercussions from that, I believe today or yesterday, the Secret Service director stepped down, and they have somebody else taking over those duties, because of course a lot of people are like, how in the world could something like this happen in 2024, with how far this young man was out? And there had been people who had pointed out the shooter before things popped off, so it was a lot going on. But what were your overall thoughts about that particular event?
Okay, I'm gonna keep it a step. Okay, so maybe I've seen too many movies in Hollywood, this, that, and the other, to form a professional. And when I say professional, I'm not a security expert, or I'm not none of that. But I've seen enough movies. I've seen Shooter. I've seen the series Shooter. I've seen all kind of assassin movies in my lifetime. Enough to make me believe. Do you really think this was a true assassination attempt, bro?
I honestly do. But it's hard, right? This is what I mean. I would like to believe that it was true, because there was loss of life, right? Now, don't get me wrong. I know, without a shadow of a doubt, there are some people who are true fanatics of people, that they are willing to do anything for the cause. You know what I'm saying? But I also would like to believe that, Donald Trump isn't somebody who doesn't shy away from saying things that can get people riled up, right? And what I think is that he is not above that same rhetoric coming back to haunt him itself. So I would like to think that this should have been a wake up call for the fact that people are out here just saying stuff and don't know the potential outcome, and that it was real, so that maybe things can change up. But at the same time, I also think that he does benefit greatly from an assassination attempt, which is
I
why I
agree.
can understand, with everything else going on within the climate of the electoral race, that this would be a ploy or would be a stunt, because of the fact we're talking about the assassination attempt and this, that, and the other. And we're not talking about this man being a felon that's running for presidency. So I know you and your conspiracy theory and TikTok have, I've seen several videos of stuff like that, but like I said, I would like to think that it was real and that he's not immune to the same stuff that he's spewing out. That's the way I feel about it.
Hey, listen, man. I'm just saying this, and I hate to put race into things like
Mhm.
this, but when I saw those shots, the shot attempts being fired away, I saw people still pulling out their phones trying to capture things, and it looks like they were very much on cue. Now, with that being said, I didn't see very many, and by very many, I mean AM. I didn't see AM black person in the background because I just thought that the black people protocol is that when you hear gunshots, you duck and roll, you get up out of there, you run the minute you see another black person, but nobody stays at the scene of the crime. Nobody sits to look around. I don't think I saw anybody run at all. Now, granted, listen, I don't know what they are told that you're supposed to do. I don't know that everybody adheres to the same protocol. But black people, when you hear gunshots, you get low, you get behind something, and you don't even know where the gunshots is coming from. But the minute you see one, all it takes is for you to see one other black person running, and everybody is getting ghosted. And I didn't see nobody at all run, right? And outside of that, I saw everything that was the contrary. I thought that people were very relaxed. People were very calm. And so I thought that just there was no chaos that you typically listen, bro. If you go back and you watch footage of the old school JFK assassination, it was chaotic there, right? That was in the 60s. And for this to be so very casual, bro, it just looked like it was very much staged over.
But here's the problem though. I don't know that I understand what you're saying, but I also think it's because of the times though. Because we scroll TikTok, we scroll Instagram reels, and we can see somebody getting shot and killed on a video, and we just keep scrolling. Like we're so desensitized to that type of stuff that the first instinct is, well, I need to capture what's going on. That's a thing. We watch people watch other people die because they trying to have their phones out. That's the way of the times, unfortunately.
Gunshots. Now, listen. Now, I do think I thought when I saw the gunshots, and here's what's funny. I didn't see that there was anything at all that told me that he got shot, right? Like when they saw the blood on him, I thought that was totally fake, right? I thought, now listen, I've seen better blood from a WWE match, bro. He may listen. So even with that being said, right? I thought that the blood was listen. Trump has been associated with WWE. I think he's a WWE Hall of Famer. He understands that blood sells. You know, you're interested in more of those Ric Flair matches when his head is all bloody. And so I think that he understands the sensationalism of that. But here's the thing I think. I when I saw that happen after the debate,
Mhm.
right? I said, well, Joe Biden looked crazy in the debate,
Mhm.
but but Trump didn't do anything or say anything overwhelmingly to make me think, oh, this is clear.
Yeah.
It's a no-brainer. But when that happened, I said, oh yeah, he got it. That was his move. That was the one. So
Well, apparently Javante must have thought that that was the case because after the debate, we saw him try to do some cleanup. He did some interviews and was basically like, "Look, man, I was tired. I just came back from doing this and doing that." And the Dems was like, "Bro, this ain't it. This ain't it." And
listen, I don't think that he realized. And listen, I think that when that happened, though, bro, I think the Dems just kind of was just like, bro, you don't understand how crazy you look out there.
right.
You look crazy.
Well,
But
that's not this ain't the first time he's looked crazy. There's several videos of him just like freezing up, bro. He's like somebody hit the pause button. Like he get out and just be like,
and boy had to reboot. He had to reboot, man.
Yeah,
He
yeah.
had to control alt delete that thing.
Man. Yeah. So anyway, with that being said, we other national news obviously is he has stepped down from running in the 2024 presidential race, and it's looking like Kamala Harris is going to pick up the mantle and push forward. Now, I have my own thoughts about this, but I'm gonna let you start it off. But I have my own thoughts about all of this because it's mixed emotions.
So I think that from my perspective, bro, listen, I just think that the assassination attempt was so much of listen, this is what I think. You know how like okay, so you know how like when we watch wrestling and we say, oh, somebody is getting put over.
Yeah.
I thought that the assassination attempt was him getting put over, bro. And I just don't think. Listen, I think that Kamala Harris, from standing in front of him, right, and a debate, I think that she presents a different dynamic, positive. And to me, I think that to me, I look at that and say she'll be able to debate him more. Now he's the old man, right? So I think that you get that dynamic. And I think that there's a certain level of nasty that he can't be talking to a woman that he could have been talking to that boy Jovante. But I think that at the same time though, bro, I just thought that the assassination stunt was so over that I think that even now, I thought this is the way I try to tell people, right? Joe Biden, as unpopular as he has been, and I say that across universally, right? Um, I think he's been unpopular because I think that after the election, I don't think that people saw can tangibly put their hands on the thing, even though he can run off of a list of a zillion things, and everybody be kind of like, man, that's cool, right? But with that being said, I think that most people feel like the best thing that he did was keep Trump out, right? So he got the most votes of all time. Okay. With that being said, the second most all time was Trump in that same election. And I just wonder that if Biden, if he didn't do enough to have the same turnout, like I think that the same people that came out for Trump will say, no, I'm getting my guy in. And for some of the guys who may have been on the fence, I think that they basically are saying, well, I'm gonna go ahead and turn out. With that being said, I don't know that Biden would have, and I don't know that Kamala Harris has been visible enough throughout Biden's presidency to make people feel like they're. Because you think about that, that means that she would have to have the most votes ever in American history to win, and I just don't think that she can, bro. It's too. It's. I think it's too late in the game for her, though.
It is too late
What
in
you
the game,
think?
and that is the problem. It's too late in the game. Like she didn't have a full opportunity to run a campaign. We don't know what she's standing on. We don't know who her running mate is. And yes, we can get those answers in a couple of weeks, but the Dems aren't even doing their the DNC until October until August. So they still haven't named her the representative yet. You know what I'm saying? They ain't naming somebody until August. So she still has to earn that. And then she doesn't have enough time to convince anybody if they were on the fence. Like if it was just brought up in the beginning that no, she's gonna be the one going up against Trump and had a full campaign to where we knew where she stood and what was gonna be different. Because like you said, she wasn't visible enough and she was a part of the Biden campaign in back in 2020. So the thing is that she's got a lot going against her. She's black, she's a black woman, she was a part of Biden's campaign, and uh there are some black people that just don't like her anyway. So you got all of that stuff against you, plus you don't even have the time to do it. So to me, it's like the way I'm looking at it is like if she fails, then in the future, the Dem like in 4 years, the Dems gonna be like, bruh, now the people didn't rock with you, so we ain't even giving you the nomination for the next time. Like it's such a setup for failure, and the thing is it could be so much positive energy, but I also blame the Democrats because the thing is y'all have been with Joe this whole time, and y'all just now saying stuff like you needed to see the debate, or like,
I
come
think
on,
that's
man.
that's exactly what it is. I think that they needed to see the debate to see how he would look up there. And once they saw how bad he looked, they was like, that ain't it. But here's the thing about it. This is what I think that's crazy. Okay, let's just say set aside political party,
Hmm.
right? There's no way as an American that I would ever see myself voting for Donald Trump, right?
Right.
Doesn't matter. As an American, he seems to be as un-American politically for what my political views would be. And they're not very expensive, by the way. With that being said, I was never thrilled about the possibility of voting for Biden a second time. I was never thrilled about it. I was going to do it, but begrudgingly, I was going to vote for it. I at least feel like I would be more confident in voting for Kamala Harris. Even though I don't think that she's going to win, I feel like my vote, I'm more comfortable with my vote for her than I was with Biden.
No, I totally get that, and I'm right there with you. But it is a very, very uphill battle, and I just hope, because see, you and I said we are going to vote. I'm hoping that the people that, because you had people that just didn't like Biden, right? So they were going to vote for Trump. Then you got people that look at the economy and was like, nah, the economy was better when it was under Trump, so I'm still voting for Trump. Then you got people that just like Trump just because they like Trump, they voting for Trump, right? And
Yeah.
then so it's just like you got all of this stacked against you. So the people who were probably traditionally voting for uh a Democratic representative, that's like, I'm not even gonna waste my time because it's a foregone conclusion that he gonna walk away with it. So that's the problem that I have. It was like, you know, outside of us talking about it on this platform, I really haven't made any political comments on Facebook because I was kind of like, I was taking a
Same.
break. I was taking a break, bro. I'm like, listen, the thing is that for one, right, posting on Facebook or wherever your choice of social media is, that ain't changing nobody's opinion about what they
Right.
already believe. Like, because whatever you believe, that's what you believe. I got people
Right.
all
Right.
down my timeline that are either that are very vocal about who they are voting for. And that's fine. I just don't tolerate the disrespect behind any of it, right? Like, have your fun, do your thing, post who you want to post about, whatever. But as far as me, like, I hadn't made any comments outside of us talking here about any of the events that have taken place. And I'm like in a peace about it by doing it that way. Now, if somebody come and ask me a question and want to have a conversation about where I stand or whatever, ain't got no issue with, saying what I feel. But at the same time, nah, I'm cool right now.
Yeah. Like I said, I don't. So this is my thing. I think that politically, right? I just think that I would respect somebody who says, listen, man, I'm just a Republican, so I'm going to support my party. And whoever we pick as a leader, that's who I'm going to go ahead and look at. I respect that. But what I look at politically differently is someone who's a Trump supporter, because then to me, that's you saying, this is our guy. Like to me, that's like for me, that's like me saying the only president that I've ever been, this is my guy, was Barack Obama, right? He was the only guy, the only president that I can say, and not just the president. He's probably been one of the few political candidates, and I would say maybe Raphael Warnock seems like that kind of guy too, everyday guy. But Barack Obama, I was that kind of guy, right? I was a Barack supporter. But if you were somebody who looked at him like he was the Antichrist, and to you hated Barack Obama supporters, then fundamentally we just look at the person differently, right? And I think that that's why, for me, you would never see. I would always kind of like feel some kind of way about the Democrat that crossed the fence to go and vote for him, right? Because it's like, well, the person, never mind the person. But even with that said, I never considered myself to be a Biden supporter. It was like he was Barack's homeboy. So by proxy, you kind of got my support because of the affiliation, right? But now it's just like, all right, bro. Like I now that I've separated your relationship with him, it's just like the second go around, I wasn't thrilled about it. Wasn't just I haven't been that thrilled about the results. And while I would vote for him again, I wasn't going to be happy about it, right? It was almost like the voting for the second time around, voting for the lesser of two evils, right? But I feel more comfortable with Kamala Harris despite the made the perceived like inexperience, despite the things that the uphill battle. I just feel like she seems to me as a representative of these candidates. Now, maybe if there's another person, and I would feel differently if there was another set of candidates. But I feel like she's the more confident one there. And I feel like I still do to me, it holds a lot of stock to me of someone who is a career politician, for someone who's devoted their life to public service. Like that means to me that you're a true patriot. And I think that our representation should be patriots. And I think that's where I look at someone who's not a politician, who's just a businessman, right? And you run and that's it. And so from that perspective, for me, that's let alone all the other stuff
Mhm.
that comes along with them. It's just the fact that you're not a politician, you're not a public servant, you're a businessman. And I respect that you're a businessman, but I also anticipate that you're going to do the best thing for business, your business, not the business of the United States. And that's my fundamental problem.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, staying in the same lane of being a American, these men's basketball Olympic team, they've been kind of just skating through, bro. They had some issues with was it South Sudan and Germany. LeBron being the hero in both games. Does that continue your legacy of him being above Jordan?
It absolutely does. And listen, bro. Even though these games are all exhibition games,
Hmm.
even though these are exhibition games, it still tells me the whole point, the argument that I've made about LeBron being the GOAT is that nobody has been greater for longer. And here it is, this man at 39 years old is still the closer. And listen, well, you can tell me all the things that LeBron can't do anymore that he used to do in his early 20s, in his mid and late 20s, early 30s. But I can just as easily point out the things that he's still able to do. And so, given that you have all NBA players and all star players all compiled on one team, in the end, maybe, and I give Kevin Durant because he's not there, but I don't think it'll be that much of a difference. I just think that LeBron James still being the closer at 39 cements the fact that nobody's been greater for longer. And it's exhibition, but I would expect that the same thing, he would be the same role during the Olympics, though, bro. It's incredible to see, though, man. Absolutely incredible.
Yeah, yeah, I agree. While he's still not my goat, I still don't have an issue with people who do see him above Jordan. That's never been a thing for me. Only time I really kind of just like if you say, well, Kobe is above such and such, and I'm just kind of like, okay, there's no argument with me either because this is like Kobe is a carbon copy of Jordan. If I want to see Jordan, I'll look at Jordan. But I can also be okay with if people said that Kobe was number 3 for them, with or number 2 and Jordan is 1 and LeBron is 1B. You know what I'm saying? So I don't have an issue with either argument, but for somebody to say that Kobe's above LeBron, I don't know about that one.
Here's the one thing I can respect about somebody who would say that they got Kobe above LeBron, right? So if you want to say the championships, the one more, I get it. I think the one thing that I kind of respect about Kobe and the LeBron argument would be that if you're telling me, like to me, from start to finish, right? If you tell me that you've never seen a greater player than Kobe, because you think about it, even at our age, prime Michael Jordan was 91, right? So we didn't see the 86. We knew that he was getting whipped, and we knew that he was getting that he scored the 60 some points against the Celtics. But his rookie year 2, year 3, year 4, when he was trash, we didn't see that Michael Jordan, even at our age, right? Because we were in elementary school at that particular point, though, right? And so from folks like us who say that Jordan is the GOAT, I think that when I say folks like us, people of our age,
Right.
they basically we saw Mike. All of our eyes saw Mike in his prime, right? And so I think that for someone who says that Kobe is the GOAT, is because when they saw Kobe, the stakes were already higher, and what they saw of Kobe at that time was at a higher level of greatness than Mike, if you were doing some kind of comparison. From
Mhm.
a young age, I think that Kobe was the argument is that Kobe was contending at a younger age, but he had the players around him earlier also than Jordan and LeBron. But to some people, the same argument that I would say that nobody's been greater from start to finish, somebody may think that about Kobe.
Mhm.
Right, you saw every bounce, every ball bounce of Kobe from day one until the end, and you might think that no one's had a greater career from start to finish than Kobe. I understand the argument. I just think that if we were comparing those principles, I would think that nobody's been better for longer than LeBron.
Yeah. No, like I said, I'm not arguing career wise. I think LeBron is doing something we've never seen before. It's just for me, the impact over my life doesn't allow it to go past what I would
Sure.
think Michael Jordan has done. And again, it's no argument for me if people think LeBron is better than Jordan. I know statistically and all of the other accolades and him playing in the league with his son, like all of those things. I get it. So you're not gonna get an argument from me, but it's just he ain't my goat. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Now, here's the other thing too that I think that is interesting though, bro. I fully expect though, like people always talk about team chemistry and everything like that, bro. I think that what happens with these USA teams is that I think that what's crazy is that Joel Embiid not being who they thought he was going. He's still injured, bro. And I just think that they're trying to do the same thing that Miami does with Bam Adebayo, where they playing him at center, and he's not a center. And so I think that then it's leaving you to be dependent on AD. And so to me, as good as he is, I expect that the USA team won't go undefeated, that they'll lose to somebody. And I think that it's usually because what I've seen from them in these two games is that they come out too cool. They come out very casual, and maybe because these were exhibition games, that they just don't really come out and try to wash you, right? They were supposed to beat South Sudan by 40 points, right? That was the spread on them. And so to me, when you come out, even though the other team came out knocking down shots, to me that's just like, all right, you ain't trying to, you ain't really trying. And I think that they're gonna not try the wrong team. It's gonna happen. I don't expect them to go
It's
undefeated.
like they still coming out playing an all-star game and not playing a game. You know
Facts.
what I'm saying?
And part of that is that I think that people are like, you take the shot or you take the shot. Everybody are being so passive. It's just like, come on, man.
Yeah, we gotta win. Other
Somebody's gonna
NBA.
have to do the Kobe. Listen, somebody's gonna have to do the Kobe, Melo, and KD. Whereas, like, forget what everybody talking about. I'm gonna take the most shot. I'm gonna get my. Somebody has to lead them in scoring all the time. Though.
Yeah, yeah. Other NBA news, and then we can move on to whatever. My boy Russ on the move again. Finally, he was traded to Utah and then agreed to a buyout and finally signed with the Nuggets, which has been kind of the conversations the whole trade period. Uh, what do you think about Russ going to the Nuggets, bro? Especially with them losing KCP and Reggie Jackson. What do you think about it?
So I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't think that losing Reggie Jackson was as big of a deal. I think personally that you upgrade when you get Russ, right? I think you get better leadership coming off your bench. I think that it means something to me that the Joker wanted Russ, right? That he was pushing to get Russ on the team. So that's one thing.
Him and
And I
DeAndre Jordan.
think that and DeAndre Jordan, hey, he's like a 10th man, 12th man.
I mean, I get it,
I
but
think that
he's still an OG though. Like you
yeah,
still
yeah,
want to
yeah.
hear from. I mean, they have him as a veteran presence that can take a couple of minutes from jokers. But I understand what
Yeah.
you're saying.
Yeah, but I think it means something that your guy is now where I think that they're more than anything, right? So I think that you upgrade. And I think that there were the shooting that you got from KCP. I don't know that they've replaced that though. So I don't know what they're gonna do about that, man. But I think that they didn't sign Gary Trent Jr., did they? Who I don't know who he signed to. If they if I know he went somewhere. If they picked him up, then I think they'll be solid. I've always liked him.
Yeah. Now I gotta
Yeah,
look
but
to
I'm
see
happy
where
for
he went.
Russ though, man. I'm happy for Russ.
I
Yeah, I'm
am
about to
too,
look
man. He
myself too, man.
playing for a contender. And I think that's always cool. You know, if for some reason that Oklahoma doesn't win, then I would love. So it looks like he went to the Bucks.
Oh yeah. He did go to the Bucks. I mean, I'm not mad. Like I said, I'm not mad at that. But I think that I think to be honest with you, I think that they'll be competitive. But without that timely 3-point shooting, bro, I think that they're gonna take a step back.
Yeah, I mean, because the West has just gotten so much better. So
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
yeah, what else we got, bro?
Oh my gosh. Let me ask you this though. So I saw what I've been loving here over the last especially week or so, right? I've really loved the attention that the WNBA has gotten from national media. I think they have a new TV deal, which also means long term that women's players are going to make more money. I think that the whole Caitlin Clark, Angel Reese angle has led for more. Like it's the most that I've ever heard women basketball talked about, right? And then they had their skill challenge. I think that one of the girls who played for Atlanta won the shooting contest and the skill challenge, which is real dope. I actually watched that. I thought that it was funny though, bro. Let me ask you. I saw they interview Brittney Griner, right? And Brittney Griner, they said, "Well, yeah, we congratulations on order. You know what I'm saying? You have a baby. You know what I'm saying? You gonna be a new mama, right?" And the lady who was interviewing the senior, she was like, "Yeah, no, pops, pops." Listen, bro. It's still like really, bro. It's listen, like live your life and do whatever. Is that just doing the most though, bro?
I don't think so at this point because here's the thing, bro. You know, this is why I say that it's not that big of a deal. Like you can tell that BG definitely identifies with being a dude. Like when I think stud, I think BG, right? And the other thing is that when she was at Baylor, bro, and she was still trying to portray like I'm a girly girl, people was like, nah, like she about to get drafted to the Raptors or something. Like, you know, people just the jokes was flying then. So it didn't like I know that this has been a topic in the media, bro. I seen the Breakfast Club talk about it, and like I've seen a bunch of people comment about it. But it is just gonna make like that's what people gonna call her from this point on, bro. She just gonna be pops, bro. Like that's just it's just what it is, bro. I can see the memes coming. I can hear it all. But yeah, it's just gonna be Pops from now on. That's what they're gonna call her, bro.
If you this is what I'm wondering, right? I guess even if you okay. So even if you are a stud and you say whatever your pronouns are, right? So if you say you identify as him, right? Does this also mean that parentally that you are then a dad? Like, do you like when I saw the picture? Here's what's funny. I saw the picture that she did, a family picture, and and what's crazy about it is that she is very much doing the dad pose, right? The shirtless dad pose. So that is hilarious for the maternity pictures.
Mm-hmm.
But here's the part that I think that is crazy, right? So it came across in the interview that she is a new mom or new dad. Somebody said, pump your brakes, pump these brakes. Because you was previously married to old girl and y'all had twins, right, in that marriage. So here's my question for you then, right? If it was a guy, the guy would be expected to pay child support for them kids. Do women, or is the expectation? Well, she says she's Pops. She identifies as him, I'm assuming. So if you do that, then don't you supposed to be paying child support for the other kids?
Bro, it depends on how they have it written up. Because if BG is on the birth certificate of the other two boys or whatever, however they got it set up, then legally yes. But if no paperwork is signed, legally no. It doesn't matter what the public perception of it is. The point is, if there's no if it's not legal that she's listed as a parental figure on the twins, it's a no-go. No matter what and the
They
jokes
were,
can fly.
and they were legally married.
They were, but it has nothing to do with them being legally married. The only thing they would deal with legally married would be alimony. I'm talking about when it comes to the kids, it depends on how it was set up, right? If she didn't like, because they do in vitro or whatever the case may, like I don't even know how the kids,
Right.
if they just did a straight donor and so the donor's name is on the birth certificate with the mom, like however, that's what I'm saying. If it's not legally on the paperwork, free and clear.
You know what's funny though, bro? When she said Pops and she said it with all the bass in her voice, bro. I listen, I had a question, and if I ask it, bro, it might just get us canceled.
Oh God,
Listen, Ace, it would get us canceled. It would absolutely get us canceled.
well, I ain't
You
trying to
want
get
you want
canceled today.
you want to know the question? Do you want to know the
I want to
question,
know the
bro?
question. Don't mean I gotta answer it.
If I ask the question, it might just get us canceled.
Oh well, you better text me that offline then, bro.
So I'm gonna ask you this right after because this is a question that now I want to ask. I specifically want to ask the gay girls that I know. That's what I'm curious to know. There is something very specific about that though. So, anywho, you come upon the shows,
You said what?
and you come upon the shows.
Yes, sir. The boys season finale just happened. This past Friday. Um, listen. We putting the spoilers up because we talking this. Um, for the boys. Let's see here. So, bro, I was not prepared for old girl to die, bro. I thought that she had kind of become one of the original characters. So seeing her die
The
was,
president, the
yeah,
president, the vice
president
president.
girl. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, yeah. And of course, Butcher, I think he's like gone. Like I think he is fully Negan now, bro.
Hmm.
And then, uh this season was such a great watch. Like it wasn't not like outside of Centipede Sauna, I don't think there was anything like just really over the top like that. I just thought it was a real the story has been so good. They have been super consistent. They're very detailed on stuff, and I'm so ready for season 5. Obviously, we got Gen V season 2 coming after this, which they are gonna have to pivot with that. I wonder if they're gonna recast oh boy in Gen V.
The son, yeah, the
Yeah.
son. Yeah, I thought the boys was excellent. Let me tell you what I thought, and you and I had this, but I thought this as we talk about this kind of thing
Hmm.
on here. Very disappointed with Acolytes, bro. And I know y'all probably dive into it more
Yeah.
on the Marauders podcast. Shout out to all of them. But listen, bro, not at all what I was expecting. And listen, in terms of just the storytelling, it was a fine story, I guess, but a very underwhelming at the same time. I was just like, all right, I would have been perfectly fine, not even seeing this whatsoever. Like if you give
Yeah.
me something else, I would have been fine with. And I thought for what it could have been, that's probably why I was so disappointed because it's not at all what I thought it could have been when you told me that this was before the idea of Jedi's and Siths, and these are the first and everything like that. Like, nah, it had a couple of cool scenes, but outside of that, though, very lackluster, though, bro. So I just wanted to tell you for the Marauder in you, I thought it was kind of trash, bro.
It was rated a 6 for me, 6 out of 10. It was a little above average.
Sure, that's
It
fair.
was and it stayed pretty consistent for me the whole time. Like I was at a 5 most of the episode. I think episode 5 and 6 bumped it up to a 6, and then 7 and 8 was just 7 was a pretty much a rehash of 3, and then 8 was okay. You know what I'm saying? But here's my thing, and we'll move on quickly. Basically, the questions that I had for the series, they answered them. Do I like how they answered all the questions? No. The problem that Star Wars has been having with these particular series, with this one and Obi-Wan, is that the stories wrote themselves. Meaning that when you tell me you're giving me an Obi-Wan series, I want to see Anakin and Obi-Wan, right? So then why they have Reba? Like her story was like a main story stayed through the whole thing when it was about Anakin and Obi-Wan, right?
That's true.
So okay, so for this one, this was supposed to be a Sith show. So why do we have these twins? Like they wanted to make that such a big deal because it gives implication on how, because you saw the creature that kind of peeked out in the thing, that's Plagueis, right? So when you listen to Palpatine talking to Anakin in the opera, it was like, have you ever heard the story of Darth Plagueis the Wise? That's who they're talking about. So they implied like Plagueis learned how to create life from the Force with these two twins. That's what I'm saying. That was a like give me.
I'm not mad at that. I'm not mad at that aspect of it, though. To be
I'm not
honest with
mad at it either, but it to me, right? When you tell me a Sith show, give me the stranger out here slicing up Jedi and they trying to figure out what's going on. Like how we had a whole episode of him just slicing up Jedi. That was epic, right? You could have had like just had that dude going across the thing, slicing up folks. And maybe his reasoning was because of the fact, like, yo, I was a Jedi and they, oh girl done whipped me in my back with her lightsaber whip. And so I'm out here just whipping all kind of Jedi ass. You know what I'm saying? And that be it. But
you.
yeah, I'm like,
It has so much potential, bro,
yeah,
and
it
I
did.
was just like, nah.
Yeah, yeah, it
But
was
listen,
cool.
I did see the last episode of the House of Dragon, bro, and let me tell you though, bro, you talking about a cliffhanger. So let me tell you what's great. I'm not gonna lie. It made me. I'm probably gonna go back and watch it
Mhm.
again today
Yeah.
because so I was lulled away all the way through, right? Lulled away because I had been just watching the story and everything. But I think the part that got me that I was surprised is when they were going through that whole thing of trying to get somebody else within the bloodline to be a rider of the dragon, right?
See
And so
smoke.
naturally, right, I thought when bro went on over there, I didn't think that it was gonna work right away. What I thought was gonna happen though is I thought that it was gonna be a brother, right? But I thought it was gonna be the bald one. And I never understood. I didn't think about this until this episode when he was shaving his head. He was shaving it because he didn't want that white hair to show. And I never picked up on that the first time, even when they said that, oh, this is his son. And then the thing that I was very surprised about was when the other brother who don't got the white hair. So then I'm thinking, like, well, how do you explain then this black haired dragon rider? Maybe they got the same mama and the gene just wasn't that strong or whatever. But I was blown away by it, though, bro.
Well, he's Valyrian, but he's not Targaryen. So
Yes.
so the thing is that dragons respect Valyrian talking, because you notice your boy didn't get burnt up until he started talking in English, and then Sea Smoke was like, "Nah, bro, we don't do that English around here," and fried him on up. You know what I'm saying? My favorite part, and I know it's the most morbid part, but my favorite part is the dragon tamers, bro. They be ready, bro. When that dragon tamer got on fire, and he was like, "Nope."
Oh yeah. He said, "I ain't doing it. I ain't doing it."
That boy just cut his own neck. He was ready, bro. It was like, listen, they know what it is. Like, listen, if these dragons go crazy and burn you up, you might want to be ready to just slit your own throat, get it over with, bro. It almost
Yeah.
reminded me of like how in Shogun, where they go and just do the Saruki thing on their self.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what it felt like. I was laughing. I don't know why that jump was so funny. I think it was because the dude was in flames and he was just like, ah. That
Yeah.
jump was
Now
wild to me.
I think I'm gonna go back and watch it because again, I was almost bored up until I saw the bald guy shaving his head. So I feel like I need to go back and rewatch some detail on that though, man. So I'm gonna probably go back and watch it today.
Dawg, tell me why I got spoiled today on who's winning this war. So told you I've been going back and rewatching Game of Thrones, and
Hmm.
in the show, somebody says the ending of this battle, and I was just like, oh man, like that just it just because now I
I don't
mean
remember. It almost makes it. I wanted to go back and watch him, but I don't want to go back and watch it at the expense of knowing that now.
yeah, that I wasn't expecting it, because I mean, you got to think, when we watched Game of Thrones, we had no clue of House of Dragons, right? So they talk Targaryen stuff and the Mad King and stuff all throughout the stuff. But this though, like this particular conversation, and I'm not going to tell you what he said, but it was the Baratheon dude who was with the red woman, right? He was
Yeah.
having a conversation with them in their little small council, and he just said, well, when such and such did this and he won the war, and I was just like, oh, they like just flat out said it, and I was just, I mean, completely blew
I
me
might have to
away,
go
bro.
back. Yeah, I think I might go back and watch this season. There's this other show I meant to tell you. There's a show that I just saw on Peacock that's like it looks like it's like a Roman based show like Gladiator, whatever. It looks
Yeah,
pretty dope though, man.
UFC
Yeah, I think I'm
UFC
gonna
be
go ahead.
promoting it.
Ah, really?
Yeah, the UFC promotes that. Like every time I'm watching like the pay-per-view and stuff like that, they base it upon that. Because I mean, it's got, like you said, that gladiator feel to it.
Yeah.
And
I think I want to go ahead and start watching that today too, man. So
yeah.
yeah. What's good
Did
with
you
you for
see
the week though, man?
for the week, bro? I got a photo shoot that I'm doing for my nephew. So I'm doing that Thursday. I got some people coming in from Georgia that I want to try to catch. Other than that, man, it's just I've been recording here and there on stuff. I've been writing, and so back in that whole thing. Obviously, I got the state fair to get ready for, so I'm just trying to get all my ducks in a row. And so every little moment that I have in between running around doing stuff for the fam, I'm taking care of myself. Like I got the college football game, so I've played a couple of games real late at night. Of course, I'm still hitting the gym. So I'm doing, like, just anytime I have a moment, I'm either in the studio or I'm playing the game or recording or something. But that's pretty much it for the week. Nothing, no big plans, just kind of riding the wave right now. What about you?
Man, so it's funny that yesterday I woke up with this little rasp on my voice, though, man, that I thought, all right, maybe I just might drink some tea, but I've been holding that thing for probably about 2 days now, though, man. So I haven't been able to record. But right before that did happen, on Sunday night, I recorded a dope hook for a track that I had been doing that I've been sitting on for the longest. This is one of those beats where when the homie PBR be telling me I'm stashing away beats,
Yeah.
this was one of them that I've been stashing. So I recorded that hook and it sounds good. So probably since I can't record myself here lately, I've been picking up on writing. So I want to go ahead and finish up the song by the end of the week so that whenever my voice is back 100, I can go ahead and do it.
Yeah.
Outside of that, working with this new artist out here, A1K. And so I've been tightening up some mixes. I sent you something that I wanted you to look at, but you can disregard it because I heard something. I put it in the master, and when I mastered it, I heard this little hissing that was going on with it that I've already cleaned on up. So I might send that back to you again today. But I've been very involved with because I've been trying to get my R&B mixes tightened on up and everything, though, man. And so it's been real fun diving into that. So I think that this week I want to try to finish up that particular song, or at least as much as I can. But I'm back doing a bunch of writing, though, man, and riding the wave of Texas Toast, though, man. So yeah, we doing some things.
That's right, man. Well, look, man, we appreciate y'all for hanging with the boys. You know what I'm saying? We are the Slash Brothers from ATL to OKC. We will see y'all on the next one.
It doesn't matter what your name is.
Slash Brothers Podcast, the greatest podcast of all time. The Slash Brothers Podcast, the greatest podcast.
Can you dig
of
it,
all time.
sucker?